talks from the crypt.
I mean, that movie was I just feel so bad for Rob. I mean, I just felt so bad for him with the shit that he had to go through with the studio. And it was so hard to watch something that he loved so much just put such a bad taste in his mouth.
Right. Now, I know this might be a question for Rob, but I'm curious because I hear that all the time, what he had to go through.
Yeah.
We never hear what he had to go through. We just heard that he had to go through things. What was it? I mean, I know they were breathing down his neck, but that can't be that bad.
I think it's just a lot of studio input and really dumb shit all the time and making his job really fucking difficult to do what he wanted to do by continuing to add or change things or, and that's the way studios are though. Even now, I mean, it's very difficult to not, and they say stuff that's like, wait, are you kidding? Or are you being serious?
Yeah.
Wait, Michael's going to space? Like, this is not real. It's really not. Like, this is supposed to be funny. So I think Rob's better at just being able to do Rob.
Did you get to read like an original screenplay and know what he wanted to do? And like, do you know anything that was changed?
From what I remember, it was exactly the way that he wrote it.
Okay.
It really wasn't, they didn't change stuff from the first one. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of things. I just could see Rob pulling his hair out all the time. So I don't know what phone calls were happening or what was going on or what it was, but there was definitely, I mean, I wrapped 3 times from the second one and had to come back and do more shooting and then wrapped and come back and do shooting and then wrapped. So bad that on Halloween 2, I wrapped and then was called to go back of like 2 weeks later or something. I remember it was on a Valentine's Day. I left from LA to go to Atlanta and I got there and I'd been there, 2 other times. So the person that normally picked me up wasn't there. And I was calling production going, hey, I'm here. I don't see anybody. And they were like, what do you mean you're here? I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean that I'm here? I'm literally at the airport. Like I'm here to go to work. They were like, oh, well, we pushed your days. Nobody told you? Well, you sent a car for me and I got on a plane with tickets that you booked for me. So at some point, somebody should have canceled one of those.
Right.
And I wouldn't be here. But now I'm fucking here. So now what do I do?
Yeah.
So I either stay for a week and do nothing in Covington, Georgia, and I'm an hour from the hotel, hour and a half from the hotel, or I just go book me on a flight. I'm going to go right back to Los Angeles for 6 hours on a plane or whatever. So that's what I did. I literally got off, got my bags from baggage claim and turned around and got back on a plane. But it's stuff like that that's like, how is that happening on big movies? Like, how are people making these mistakes?
Well, you think that once you break a certain level, everyone's now professional.
No, it's always a shit show. There's always no matter what. And you're like, wow, really?
Yeah.
How is that stuff still happening on things where this shouldn't be happening? At what point does it just work well? Because I've been on everything from $100 million budget movies to $100,000 budget movies.
Right.
Stupid shit happens on both.
How did you feel Rob did with both Halloweens?
I like the second one. People
don't.
Like the first? I love the first.
Okay.
I think he did a great job with the first. I wouldn't change anything really. I didn't love aspects of the second one. I wish that it would have just kind of been like Brad and me and Scout and like that storyline in the house with the sheriff and kind of her losing her, things happening to her and more personal stuff. I didn't like the way Loomis was in the second one. I didn't like any of that stuff.
He vilified him. It was
just weird. It wasn't what I knew. He was getting that way in the first one a little bit, but I was like, he's amping it up, you know? And then he became this like douchey, like, I don't know.
It was kind of funny though.
It was funny. But then I go back and rewatch Halloween 5.
Yeah.
And like Loomis is fucking horrible.
Everybody gives the ending of Halloween 5 shit. I really like that. You climb in the
him breaking
casket.
out of oh yeah. I thought I was gonna get caught on fire in that scene though.
Oh, because all the candles surrounding it.
Yeah, and I'm in a fucking crinoline dress that is like super flammable with streaks and tips sprayed aerosol flammable shit all over me.
Jesus.
And I'm the one that has to jump out of a coffin that's slightly positioned on a bathtub.
Yeah.
With 8,000 candles around. Like, that's the stuff that like they would never be able to do that now. There's the 80s, like never happened nowadays.
Which is crazy.
Can you even have candles lit on set anymore? Probably not.
Nope. I've got some over there. Hopefully we don't catch on
yeah,
fire.
no, you're fine, I think.
But no, I mean, I think Rob Zombie's Halloweens are the greatest horror remakes possibly of all time. I mean, I love the Hills Have Eyes remakes, but both 1 and 2, I couldn't figure out what rating to give them because I love them both so much. Your story in 2 was incredible.
I liked that storyline and that relationship. And I think, I think you could see the chemistry between Scout and I and Brad and I in there. It seemed real to me. That seemed like the Halloween movie vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The other parts didn't seem very Halloween to me.
So you didn't like Hobo Michael with the hooded fucking puffy jacket?
Yeah, I mean that was a bit. I didn't want to see his face. I didn't want to see any part of his face.
Yeah, that was. I agree with that. But man, when Brad Dourif is leaving for work or Sheriff Brackett's leaving for work, and he's like, all right, I'm going to bring home pizza. You're like, make sure it's not gluten-free. He's like, why don't you just take off the cheese and eat the cardboard?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But then he comes back and you're like, what happened to gluten-free? He's like, oh, I forgot. But you guys get into this brilliant back and forth about eating meat. And he's like, we all have a little caveman in us. And it cuts to Michael fucking cutting open a dog.
Yeah.
And he starts eating it. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it cuts back to you guys laughing and eating pizza. And that was just such Rob's style that I loved. And to see your trauma in 2, because everybody always focuses so much on Laurie's story, but with you and how different you were in 1, the fact that you didn't go out on Halloween touched me. I was like, oh man, she's staying home. She's not even going out to party. She's so hurt.
Right. Yeah, true. I mean, I never thought that my character was going to survive. I only knew that Annie was going to live after I read the script, after I got Halloween. I had no idea that I thought for sure it was just going to be an exact remake of the original. So I was surprised by that and then excited. And, we filmed a scene where it was cut out of Rob's Halloween where I was being taken out on an ambulance with my dad there and Loomis there that they cut out. So I was like, I wonder if I'm going to be in the second one. But I think he gave me the opportunity to do a lot of stuff in the second one because it was me, not because of the Annie character.
Right.
I think he wrote that much more stuff for me to do because it was me.
Well, a lot of people talk about how Rob's dialogue is very vulgar on female characters, but you brought a flavor to Annie where I thought the vulgarness worked. Linda's was like,
Yeah, it was a bit much. But the thing is, Rob listens to you on set. Yeah, like Rob... we would get like revisions and stuff. And I would say to Scout, like, this sounds kind of like what we were talking about yesterday. Is he like sitting somewhere? Because you're loved, you know what I mean? So it's like, and he would always be at the monitor kind of like, watching, but like headphones on. You're like, are you? Because we're having girl talk.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about it. And I asked him, and he was like, well, I'm getting inspiration from hearing you girls because he's like, I don't know how to fucking 17-year-old girls talk. I don't know how to write for 17-year-old girls, but listening to you helps me.